On leaving Namure, we stopped by the magnificent Mamure castle, and in the background you can see Namure. The current castle dates back to 1200 AD, but it was built on the same site as previous castles, which go back 2,300 years to 300 BC. It's by far the biggest and best preserved castle on this part of the Mediterranean coast, with all 36 towers still intact. It occupies 20,000 square metres and was built as a protection against pirates. Mamure means prosperous. From Mamure we drove through the town of Bozyazi, which is spread across a fertile plain, and for miles around you can see the softer castle perched on a hilltop. It was built by the Armenian kings who ruled Sicilia for a while during the Crusades. You can't drive up to it, so we decided not to climb it. When we got to Sipahili, we turned inland to head for Gulnar, which is a country town. After crossing this Roman bridge, we made our way to Uzuncaburc Castle, which has stood here in one form or another since Hittite times. After the collapse of the Hittite Empire, Anatolia lived in a period of turmoil, with many small states emerging. So for protection, you need a castle. Here there are military buildings, a palace, a public treasury, from which 5,215 coins were unearthed, and a well hole. The coins are on display in the Sipahili Museum, which we visited later. It was stiflingly hot, so we had an ice cream in Gulnar. Gulnar is a typical Turkish town which buzzes with conversation, which is male rather than female dominated. By 1 PM the Sipahili castle was in sight. The original castle here was built 2,400 years ago during the Hellenistic age, and the present castle was built by the Byzantines around 1200 AD and was a command centre as a bulwark against the Arab attacks. The castle dominates over the Sipahili Plains and the Uzuncaburc Valley.
Lets me know that you need me. There's a truth in your eyes saying you'll never leave me. The touch of your hand says you'll catch me wherever I fall. You say it best when you say nothing at all.
Driving further into Sipahili, we stop by the Archaeological Museum. It's got a decent collection of Roman statues, including one of Emperor Thecla of 300 AD, as well as busts, coins and jewellery. There are halls everywhere. This one's full of ethnographic stuff. I think we found the nearest to Burger King, the Turkish version. This is what we call toast.
Cheese toast.
A cheese toast. Anything inside it? Cheese, I suppose.
It's welded shut.
Oh, welded shut. Then I got a hamburger. A hamburger. Just a few minutes walk from the Uzuncaburc Hotel in Sipahili where we were staying is the Roman Temple of Jupiter, located in one of the side streets. The temple dates back to 200 AD and was turned into a Christian basilica sometime in 500 AD. A Roman temple. For a moment we thought that Grant Marshall had driven his Audi car to meet us. Grant is our daughter's boyfriend. Sipahili has only got a population of 65,000, so there's only a couple of hotels to choose from. We decided to roll up to the Uzuncaburc Hotel, which is on the banks of the Uzuncaburc River. Yeah, this is the Uzuncaburc Hotel, and it's the flashiest hotel in town, and we're paying an outrageous $70 NZ a night here. We normally pay half that, but there's only 2 hotels in town, so but anyway, look, they've got their wires crossed because that switch operates my light. I can't see. And the reason why you can't see is because this light's faulty. But anyway, oops. But my switch operates Lillian's light, and Lillian's switch operates my light. Can you beat that? Just got off the phone trying to book a hotel in Karaman. So you ring him up, and guy says, "Little English." And you think, oh no. Anyway, you finally got the idea of trying to book a room. So, Sativa Jonga. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye. The next morning we drove to the cave of St. Thecla on the outskirts of Sipahili. Like many other famous ancient people such as Noah and the Apostle John, Thecla, the Apostle Paul's girlfriend, was able to exist simultaneously in several places at once. The previous year we were able to visit St. Thecla's premises in Mamure in Syria, and now we're able to see where she lives simultaneously right here in Sipahili. Thecla was famous in this region for performing miracles, healing and campaigning against the worship of Jupiter, Minerva and Sarpedon cults. What's left here are the remains of a Byzantine church. It's believed that she disappeared into the depths of this cave when pursued by those that wanted to kill her.
Hey, there's a saint coming down the stairs. Yeah. Let there be light. It's lovely and cool in here.
We now drove to Uzuncaburc and on the way passed 6 mausoleums at Demasili. These date back to Roman times, and in antiquity the site was known as Imbriogon. The mountain village of Uzuncaburc is host to the ancient Roman city of Caesarea. Originally it was the Hellenistic city known as Olbia. The area is thought to have been home to a zealous cult that worshipped Zeus Olbius. In 72 AD, the Romans rocked up and took over and renamed the city Caesarea. The Zeus temple, the high tower and the mausoleum date back from the kingdom of Olbia. The colonnaded street, fountain, Tyche temple and the city gate date back from the Roman period. The necropolis was used both in the Roman and Byzantine eras.
Temple of who?
Zeus.
Ah, that guy again. Man, these columns are massive. They're certainly the tallest columns we've ever seen.
There's a truth in your eyes saying you'll never leave me. The touch of your hand says you'll catch me wherever I fall. You say it best when you say nothing at all.
Caesarea was unique in that we were the only visitors. It's way off the beaten track even for local tourists.
It's amazing.
No, thank you.
Right outside your door, and it's all this Roman stuff.
We did end up by buying some fruit to eat, and then we drove down to have a look at the old Roman road. The Caves of Heaven and Hell is an area of great mythological significance, as evidenced by the high visitor numbers and tourist buses. These caves were formed through natural subsidence and are one of a number of examples in this region. The cavern is 200 metres wide by 70 metres deep. At the bottom of the cavern is an underground river which leads to the sea at Nalikuyu.
460 steps.
Lillian decided not to go down into the cave, and I debated for some time as to whether I should go down there or not. The Virgin Mary Chapel, located halfway down into the cave, is estimated to have been built in 500 to 600 AD. An inscription on it says that a religious person called Paulus constructed and devoted the chapel to the Virgin Mary.
Araplarla beraber gittik değil mi? Ayağınız kaydı mı? Olma. Görülecek bir şey var mı? Sen de sürekli giymesi bekleyen araba. Ben de bekleyemiyorum.
The path is as muddy as anything, and the cave's dripping water on me.
İstersen cennet yerine.
The cave floor was wet, muddy and very slippery. The only way I could walk safely was in bare feet and sometimes on all fours. Definitely a very high risk excursion. The return climb up 460 steps was horrendous. It was 40 degrees, no wind, and was the hardest climb I did in 2011. At Kizkalesi, we stopped for a photo shoot at Korikos Castle, built by the Byzantines and briefly occupied by the kings of Armenia. 200 metres offshore is Kiz Castle itself, but we decided it wasn't worth a look. Not that we were castled out at all, but we felt there was nothing unique or special out there to see. Opposite Korikos Castle was a necropolis, but it was heavily overgrown. Next we went inland a few kilometres via a steep mountain road to see if we could get a look at some Roman reliefs. The views at the top of the mountain were pretty spectacular, but we didn't want to climb into the valley to see the reliefs, so we settled for a sarcophagus and the bottom of a grain grinder, and then it was back to Kizkalesi for an afternoon snack.
This is the usual disgusting yogurt milkshake.
The journey to Karaman is over the Taurus Mountains, a huge mountain range that divides the Anatolian Plateau from the Mediterranean Sea. On the way we passed the tiny town of Efkof Kif Jaliji. The views are breathtaking as we travel into the mountains, the highest of which is 12,323 feet, almost the same height as Mount Cook. On arriving in Karaman, we checked into the 2-star Nas Hotel, which we had booked by phone the previous night. It was the only one in town, which turned out to be really nice, more like 4 stars.